Hello everyone and welcome to the Gooner Factory. So today we'll be looking ahead to this weekend's game between Arsenal and Aston Villa. But also we're going to be looking at the title race and how we sit, how Liverpool and Man City are looking and how things just might be different this year. So let's get into it. So we're going to start with Saturday's game against Aston Villa. And we're away in this game, and after how they just performed yesterday against Man City, it's probably fair to assume this will be one of our hardest games of the season so far. And there's a lot of people out there saying this game's going to tell us a lot about Villa. And I do agree, by the way, but I also think this will tell us a lot about Arsenal as well, because we are top of the league. But me and many other people have been saying Arsenal just seem to be missing something this season. I mean, yes, we've been grinding out results, which is always a good sign, but you can't go the whole season playing so close to the edge. And against a team like Villa, who are having an unbelievable season, especially after a result like they've just had, there's no reason for them to think they can't get in the Champions League, especially with teams around them slightly stuttering. Look, we know Tottenham don't have the consistency. Newcastle have their troubles now as well with injuries. And although they still look pretty good at the minute, you have to wonder how long that can continue for, playing twice a week. And Man United, I mean, I don't even know where to start with them. The amount of leaks and rumours coming out of the club, you would wonder if they're even stable enough to mount a charge on the top four. So Villa have every chance if they keep winning games and picking up points where they need to, but then also getting some results against the teams they just may expect to drop points to. So there's every chance they can land inside those Champions League positions for next season. So in terms of what kind of game I'm expecting, this will be slightly different to the last few we've had, who were against teams who were kind of just happy to sit deep and try and catch us on the break. But with Villa, they're going to want to stamp their own authority on the game. They have their own playing style with Emery. And being at home, they'll be aware of what Arsenal can do, of course, but they'll also be thinking we are good enough to play how we want to, especially at their place. So let's look at their last few results. They obviously had a great 1-0 win last night against Man City. Great result. But at the same time, let's not act like this is a full-strength City. But still a great win. Before that, they drew 2-2 with Bournemouth away from home. Before that, they won in Europe. Before that, they beat Tottenham at Tottenham's ground. Before that, they beat Fulham 3-1. Before that, they won in Europe again. So this is very much a team that's in form. And at home, they haven't lost once in the league this season. So this will be a big ask for Arsenal. But thankfully, we got some big players. So in terms of Villa's threats, I think they're pretty solid in all areas, to be honest. Not many weak points, a well-structured side, well-coached. But if I had to pick out a few players, I would go with Douglas Luiz, a name Arsenal have been linked with, Man City have been linked with. So a player who's attracting the attention of some of the top clubs in Europe. So you would expect that's a person Arsenal need to be mindful of. And you've got diaby, who's come in and hit the ground running. Again, another player Arsenal's been linked with, and many other clubs as well. But Villa were the ones that were able to secure his signature. And then they have a strong defence. They have Diego Carlos. They have Martinez, World Cup winner. So not only are Villa a team with loads of exciting players, they actually have a strong spine with plenty of experience. And then you look at the striker. He's one of the top strikers in the league. Watkins, 4th place top scorer this season, only behind the likes of Haaland, Mo Salah, Son. So there's plenty of players there for Villa that Mikel Arteta should be knowing that his side are in for a real game this Saturday evening. So let's look at Arsenal, and the first point, unfortunately, is a bad one. Tomiyasu seems like he'll be unavailable for a lot longer than we initially thought. There's reports coming out that he could not feature again until February. That is a long time to have another defender out. We know we've got Yuri and Timber out for a similar amount of time as well, so that's so annoying. So them two being out massively weaken our defensive structure. I guess the only plus for this game is we do have a fully fit and firing Ben White, who dropped seamlessly back into the squad last time out. He had a brilliant game. He got his assist, so that's a real bonus. So in terms of a starting lineup, I would go with Ramsdale, but as I've previously said, Arteta will probably stick with Raya. Ben White right back, Gabriel and Saliba centre back, Zinchenko left back. I mean, look, Kiwior didn't have the best of games against Luton, in my opinion, so bring Zinni back in. Then you go Declan Rice, Havertz. He scored 3 goals in 4 games now, so he might just be able to get in a position to make something happen for us. And then you got Odegaard, and you can kind of see that he's getting back to his best now. He's put in a few performances lately, just showing how classy he is. Then you got Saka, Martinelli, and Gabriel Jesus up top. And for me, that team should be good enough to go to Villa and get the 3 points. Look, and if we're being honest, we have better players than them. But unfortunately, football doesn't always work like that. So on to the next one. We've got no Arteta on the touchline. But as I've said before, this won't affect anything on the pitch. The work into shape and structure and how we're going to go about this game has already been done on the training pitch. So having Arteta running up and down the touchlines won't impact things too much, you would hope. So if I'm being asked, do I agree with the ban? The answer is no. Now, I understand at times some of the things Arteta does, you know, it does annoy people. But for us fans, we love it. You know, when you have that kind of person who does the housery, shall we say, and they're on your team, you love it. But when it's someone on another person's team, you can't stand them. And I think that's probably how people see Arteta. But for me, the reason he got booked on Tuesday was silly. They said he over-celebrated. But you see managers do that celebration in every single game. He didn't go running down the sidelines doing a Jose Mourinho. And I'm not even sure he left his technical area. Go back and watch it. It was actually quite a tame celebration, unless I've missed something. But from the clips I've seen, and I've seen a few, I think I've seen the whole celebration, and I can't really see how he's been booked. So let's quickly touch on last night's games between what you would imagine to be our title rivals in Liverpool and Man City. How did they do? And Man City are free falling. I do not get how a team with so many brilliant players can fall apart as soon as they're missing one player in Rodri. And I know De Bruyne's out as well, but without him, they've picked up points. And as soon as there's no Rodri, they can't play to save their lives. It's a mystery. Pep must be looking at that midfield and thinking, oh my God, we need more. And that's after bringing in Calvin Phillips, don't fancy him. After bringing in Núñez, don't fancy him. So he's going to be going to the board saying, look, I need another midfielder. So don't be shocked if they bring another one in the January transfer window. Then Liverpool, they beat Sheffield United 2-0 away in a very workmanlike performance. They didn't look great, they didn't look terrible, but they have the ability this season to do what they couldn't last year. And that is just keep picking up the points, even if you're not playing at your best. Just win the game. And look, I've said it on this channel before, Jurgen Klopp deserves massive credit. He's restructured that midfield in a way that makes them more dynamic going forward. Now, I still think personally, when they play teams like us, they might just struggle really getting a grip of the game in the middle of the park. But luckily, we don't have long to wait to see if that's true. We play them in a couple of weeks. But let me know your thoughts on everything you've heard in this video. Thanks as always for watching and listening. If you could just quickly hit that like and subscribe button, and I'll speak to you all in tomorrow's video. Gooners, have a good day.